Hi everybody! Welcome to the big book reveal for the 2018-2019 Arrow and Boomerang programs. We are so excited to be here with you today. Hello Tristan, hello MJ Love. Please weigh in, let us know where you're watching from if you're watching in a watch party. We're so excited to have you be a part of us. I've got my big Brave Writer mug of tea. Go ahead and share what you're eating. Who got donuts? Hello to all the children who are watching me today. I am so thrilled that you are here. One of the best parts of watching live is that our staff member Beth is going to randomly select various ones of you to give stickers and pens to. So if you comment, you are more likely to win. We are thrilled that you are making time to be with us. I know for those of you on the West Coast, it's pretty early. If you're in Hawaii, it's really early. Some of you might even be watching in the middle of the night. Thank you for being here. Oh my goodness, look at you all flying in. That's fabulous. Here is my t-shirt that is a Brave Writer t-shirt that has all of our hashtags on it. One of the perks of getting in early with the Arrow and the Boomerang is that you have the chance to win all 10 books or all 9 books plus you'll see for the Boomerang. There's a special situation with the Boomerang, but you will get to pick the complete set of books for the Arrow or the Boomerang if you win this contest. And we are giving them all to 5 families. So we will give you the link to enter at the end of this Facebook Live. So stay tuned for that. Also during June, the full year program for the Arrow and the Boomerang are on sale. They will be at their lowest price of the year. So if you want to buy all 10 issues, buy it in June. One of the things you also need to know is that we had a huge success with our private Facebook group for year-long subscribers. So if you decide to buy the program of all 10 books, you will also have access to that Facebook group that Mary Wilson hosts, and you will get to share your book club party pictures, discuss the books, talk about ways to use the Arrow and Boomerang in your home families. We hope you'll take advantage of that free offer. It has created so much community, and that's what we're excited about. All right, so I know why you're here. Let's do the books. Here's how I'm going to do it. I will take it month by month. We will look at the August Arrow and the August Boomerang, then the September Arrow and the September Boomerang. So the Arrow is designed for kids 3rd to 6th grade. The Boomerang is designed for kids in about 8th to 10th grade. We have a product called the Pouch of Boomerangs for 6th and 7th graders if you want something that's got a little fewer mature themes. But it's the Arrow and the Boomerang that get new books every year. So we are starting with those today. And you, of course, are free to put your kids in whichever level makes sense. Read the books yourself. Read reviews. Our taste may not be your taste. You might have a child who's squeamish. We want to make sure that the books you're reading with your family delight you, challenge you, make you feel good about the education you're giving your kids. Do not rely on our judgment. Rely on yours. You're the home educator. That said, we love these books. So let's get started. All right, drum roll, please. All right, here we go. The very first Arrow book for the year is, ready? Here it comes. We are starting with the last Penderwicks book because everyone loves the Penderwicks. And here's what's awesome. We picked it for August so that you would have June and July to catch up. So if you need good summer reading, the Penderwicks is a great place to start. Here's what's even better. We are selling the Arrow that goes with the very first Penderwicks book for sale this right now. For the next month, so that if you want an Arrow to taste and you want to see what the Penderwicks are like, you can start with the Penderwicks. So let me read you a little bit. Our lovely Dawn Smith wrote summaries for every book. So August is the Penderwicks at Last by Jean Birdsall. The beloved Penderwicks return to where it all began, Arundel, and a good old-fashioned Penderwicks wedding is the occasion. All of the heart and charm of the Penderwicks return in this exciting culmination of the Penderwick series. You and your kids will fall head over heels for the Penderwicks all over again, okay? It's in hardback. You can get it at the library or buy it through Amazon or whatever your preferred store is, or maybe you'll win it. But that's our very first one for the Arrow. Awesome, right? Are you excited? I'm so excited. Such a good book. All right, so what's the first Boomerang book? Well, guess what? We had a request last year from one of our very active Brave Writer fans, Heather Hitchcock. She wrote to me, and you can certainly write to us with your suggestions. She wrote to me and said, Julie, I need a boomerang for short stories. And that reminded me instantly of some of my favorite short stories that I've read with my kids, read in high school. And so we have decided to include 4 short stories in the August Boomerang. So here's an example of one printed. And here's what's great news. All these stories are public domain, available on Gutenberg Press, so you don't have to buy anything. You just go and read them, download them. So here are the short stories. The theme of these short stories is that they have twisted endings, which is what teens really love. So the first one is The Lady or the Tiger by Frank R. Stockton. And here's my one-line description of it. A choice must be made. What will the princess do? The second short story is The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. A loving couple exchanges gifts. What could go wrong? If you know the story, you know what goes wrong. The third story is The Diamond Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. A diamond necklace is returned and borrowed. All is good, or is it? And then the fourth story literally was my favorite story I ever read in high school. An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge by Ambrose Bierce. A war crime, a rope, a bridge, and a twist. So if you are looking for short stories for your teenagers, August is the month. We will discuss them in the book club. There will be a party that goes with it, and you will be able to download those for free. Your kids could even read them this summer. So August, we've got the Penderwicks for the Arrow and short stories for the Boomerang. So what's our second title? Are you ready for number 2? Here we go. For the Arrow, woo! Redwall by Brian Jakes. We have done an Arrow for the Redwall series before, but we are updating it because how do we not have a book club party for Redwall? I mean, come on, they even have a cookbook. My kids loved making nunny molars. That was my favorite thing about Redwall. So let me read you a summary in case you don't know about this amazing series. In Redwall, the peace-loving mice of Redwall Abbey must join with their woodland friends and muster the courage and strength to defend their home from Clooney the Scourge and his horde of rats. This humorous and enchanting tale will draw readers in with its poetic language, a vivid fantasy world, and the most unlikely heroes. Redwall, yay, kids are jumping up and down. Of course, that is just so appropriate. So what is our Boomerang for September? Well, on a completely different sort of personality, here's what we're doing. Cry the Beloved Country by Alan Payton. Cry the Beloved Country tells the moving story of the Zulu pastor Stephen Kumalo and his son Absalom. It is set against the backdrop of a South Africa deep in the grip of racial injustice. An immediate worldwide bestseller in 1948, it is the most famous and influential novel in South Africa's history. Frankly, this book is in my top 10 of all-time books. Fabulous read for your teenagers. Number 3. Oh, this is fun. Okay, who's ready? Here comes the Arrow, and it is for October. We are now up to October for the Arrow. The Arrow is our online language arts program for kids using living literature. You ready? In time for the movie, Mary Poppins. Now, if you've seen the movie, the Disney movie, nothing like the book. Mary is a whole other gig in the book, and you are going to get such a kick out of her. Mary Poppins is written by P.L. Travers. It's time to introduce a whole new generation of children to the new nanny, Mary Poppins. A sassy woman of few words, she takes her charges, the bank's children, on magical, dreamlike adventures to learn life lessons in strange and delightful ways. You will also meet Jane and Michael's twin brother and sister, babies, John and Barbara, who have their own brand of wisdom. Your kids will be begging to take tea on the ceiling at the end of this tale. Mary Poppins. And there's a new movie coming out, so you know it's going to be the perfect timing for your kids. Look how cute that picture is. I love this one. So far, Penderwicks, Redwall, and Mary Poppins. My gosh, what a way to start the year. What are we doing at the Boomerang level? The Boomerang level ups the stakes in October. I literally picked this book for the fall because this is when you can hunker down and really feel like you have time to read. This is a long book. It is a classic. Who's ready for A Tree Grows in Brooklyn? A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Look how long that is, but look how beautiful. This is a classic tale. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn weaves together the stories of young Francie and her impoverished family, the Nolans, as she grows up in the slums of Williamsburg at the turn of the century. Filled with characters that come to life on the page, this work of literary art captures both heartaches and triumphs of this bookish heroine. For those of you who read this in your teen life, it's an unforgettable story. The writing is so deep. It creates a connection that lives forever. You know how when you read a book, it becomes a friend for life? That's how I feel about this book. It's one of the best I've ever read. It's long, but it's so worth the read. So that's the October title for the Boomerang. Ready for the next one? All right. So those of you who are doing the Arrow and the Boomerang, one of the things that you may discover is the next title for November in the Arrow is going to correlate with what we saw in the September title of the Boomerang. So you ready? Here comes November. Journey to Joburg by Beverly Nadeau. Journey to Joburg. Journey to Joburg follows 13-year-old Naledi and her younger brother Trio on their journey to the big city of Johannesburg to retrieve their mother. She is the only one who can save their ailing baby sister. Along the way, they receive help from strangers, but also come face to face with the dangers of the city, the inequalities in their country, and the frailty of life itself. This is a powerful short book, very well written, something that if you are doing both levels will foster all kinds of discussion about race, about South Africa and the United States. I highly recommend it, or wherever you live. I highly recommend it. This is the November title for the Arrow. The November title for the Boomerang is a delightful adventure tale. You ready? My kids loved this book. We could not get enough of it. Ready? The Scarlet Pimpernel. Seriously great book. You have got to read it if you've never read it before. Part action adventure, part romance, part historical fiction. The Scarlet Pimpernel is not your average classic novel. Determined to rescue innocent men, women, and children from the guillotine of the French revolutionaries, the Scarlet Pimpernel must keep his identity secret to continue his work and save those unjustly sentenced to death during the Reign of Terror. This book is so action-packed. It looks like one of those old-fashioned books. Don't be deluded by the cover. It is a fantastic novel, and my kids adored it when we read it. So that is your November book for the Boomerang. Okay. Oh, I'm having fun. Are you having fun? We're almost halfway. All right, let's look at December for the Arrow. You ready? Do we have any pet lovers? How many people have pet lovers? How many people have kids who love pets? How many kids are watching and love pets? Okay, you ready? You're going to love this then. Ready? Here we go. Because of Winn-Dixie by the amazing Kate DiCamillo. I mean, come on. Who doesn't love this book? And there's a movie, which is always a benefit, right? So, because of Winn-Dixie, ready? Because of Winn-Dixie is told through the eyes of India Opal Bulani, a 10-year-old girl who is new to town and friendless. Until she meets a stray dog she hastily names Winn-Dixie. This coming-of-age story follows India's adventures with Winn-Dixie as she makes friends, collects stories, and learns more than a handful of life lessons. You will laugh, you might cry. You will undoubtedly come to love the spunky spirit of India and the inquisitive brown-eyed dog, Winn-Dixie. Lovely book, perfect for December because it's a fairly quick read, and yet you will feel like you accomplished something in the busiest season of the year, right? So fun. What do we have in December for the Boomerang? Well, it is almost a short story because it is not long, but it is the perfect book to read during December. Are you ready? Here we go. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. And this book is amazing to read if you love the Muppet Christmas Carol. Watch the movie, read the book. You will be amazed at how many of the lines in this book are in that movie. We absolutely love this. Someone is asking if these can be purchased separately. They can. Every single month, we release a new title. And you can buy it for the single issue price on that month and beyond. So if you decide, for instance, you don't want to do 10 issues, you just want to do 4, wait till the publication date, come to the page, click on the link, it will take you right there for individual purchase. You cannot participate in the Facebook group unless you purchase the year long, but for individual purchases, that's possible. So here's what A Christmas Carol is. In this Dickens classic, we meet Ebenezer Scrooge, the bitter, cold-hearted curmudgeon who detests Christmas. After a series of visits from various ghosts, including his former business partner Jacob Marley, who visits Scrooge on Christmas Eve 7 years after Marley's death, Scrooge gets a second chance to live a more meaningful life and have a positive impact on those about him. So all of us know the Christmas Carol, but it is exciting to read it, to not just know about it, but to really experience the joy of Charles Dickens' language. He's a master. All right, so I'm just gonna break for a moment and remind everybody, yes, light the lamp, not the rat. That's my favorite line. I love that. I wanna remind everybody that there are 10 Arrow guides and 10 Boomerang guides. Each of those guides include copywork passages drawn from the books. We pick 4 passages per month. Within the guide itself, we give you notes about spelling, punctuation, mechanics, literary elements, even sometimes comments on themes, like racism or the conflict between characters. And these notes are meant to equip and empower you, the parent, to facilitate big, juicy conversations around literature and the mechanics of writing. Every issue of the Arrow and the Boomerang also include conversation questions, ways to discuss the book or write about the book to help your kids deepen their appreciation for what they're reading. But then the best part of the Arrow and the Boomerang this year and last year is that Mary Wilson writes us complete guides for hosting a book club party for the book. We call it Book Club Party School. And each of those guides includes foods, decorations, activities. And what our families have been doing is creating book clubs together and then hosting parties throughout the year using those guides and then taking pictures and sharing them with us and making us all cry because we're so excited to see learning take off. So one of the benefits of getting this year's Arrow and Boomerangs is that you will have these book club party guides in addition to all the other quality information that helps you use living literature to teach the mechanics and craft of writing. Sound good? All right, let's keep going. I also noticed that many of you are winning stickers and pens. I love it. Say hello to all your children. I'm going to say hello right now to the kids. Kids, hello. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so excited to hear from you. I hope after you read a book or hear your mom read the book aloud, you'll send us your notes, your reviews. We might even share them on the blog or Instagram. Post pictures and tag me at Julie Bravewriter. We do want to see these books coming to life in your families. I can't wait to hear from you. All right, time for December. You ready? January, second half of the year. You ready? All right, so here's the Arrow selection for January. We'll come from the bottom this time. Ready? Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes by Eleanor Kerr. Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes. Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes tells the story of Hiroshima-born Sadako, an active, full-of-life athlete until she falls ill with leukemia. Legend holds that if a sick person folds 1,000 paper cranes, they will regain their health. Sadako takes up the challenge with courage and bravery. Based on a true story, this short classic tale will touch your heart and make you sob. I am warning you, mothers, you will be a blubbering mess at the end of this book. It's related to the bombing of Hiroshima, a fabulous historical fiction book that helps us really appreciate the ravages of war and the importance of seeking peace. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous story and a great month to learn origami. The book for January for the Boomerang also has a movie. Are we ready? You can't help but love this book. Here we go. Jane Austen, Sense and Sensibility. Sense and Sensibility. Emma Thompson's version of this with Hugh Grant and Kate Winslet is phenomenal. You gotta see it. Gregory Wise, all the great actors are in that movie. This book I read aloud to Johanna every night when she was in like 8th or 9th grade. It became a true favorite in our family. You will love it. So let me read you a little about Sense and Sensibility. Sense and Sensibility is Jane Austen's first published work and follows the story of two sisters, Eleanor and Marianne, as they navigate the perils of the heart and judgments in society in the 19th century of England. While these sisters take vastly different approaches to life, their love and loyalty remain strong despite all the challenges they face. And for mamas and dads who are watching, when Emma Thompson had this movie done, she hired Ang Lee as the director. It's just beautifully produced and directed. She kept a diary, and that diary details all of the cinematic choices, what they decided to omit and include in the screenplay, how the characters brought it to life. So if you're one of those people like me who loves behind the scenes, get the diary that goes with it. Thirdly, my son Jacob fell in love with the soundtrack from this movie, and it fostered a lifelong love of classical music for him. We used to play the soundtrack while we did copy work. So if you love Jane Austen and you love Sense and Sensibility, those are a couple extra things you can do to really bring it to life. And it's January. So for many of you, you'll just be home wanting to read, light a fire, drink hot chocolate. Sense and Sensibility is the perfect choice. You may find, moms who homeschool, that you start using copy work from this book for your own copy workbooks. It's so rich, so wonderful. Okay, February in the Arrow. Ready? February is Black History Month. We are well aware that for some people that can be a problematic designation, as though we only talk about race in February. That is not how we see it in Brave Writer. We take advantage of this singular focus during that month in the United States to highlight some of our favorite books. And this year is no different. We are doing Freedom Train, the story of Harriet Tubman. And this book is by Dorothy Sterling. It is a classic, and you will love this book. Here's what's fun for me. I live in Ohio, and did you know that the Underground Railroad came through Cincinnati? So if you live anywhere near, there is literally an Underground Railroad tour you can take in Lower Cincinnati, and we house the Freedom Center, which is a museum dedicated to preserving the tradition and contribution of slave and Black Americans to our story. So if you come to Cincinnati, definitely do that. Here's the book. Let me read this to you. Freedom Train. In Freedom Train, we meet the tenacious Harriet Tubman and follow her journey as she not only escapes slavery, but returns to the South. What a brave woman. To lead slaves to freedom by a secret route called the Underground Railroad. The story begins with 7-year-old Harriet tending a baby and ends with her passing at the age of 93. Covers quite a span. The whole period of the Underground Railroad is a great time to take up quilting, to understand the constellations and how they were used for navigation, to appreciate the dynamics of race in America, and to explore and understand the legacy from that period, the courage and amazing journey that Harriet Tubman and her compatriots took together. Great book. All right, so what are we doing in February? Well, in February for the Boomerang, we are looking at a book called March. This is all about marching for civil rights. So if you're doing the Arrow and the Boomerang, you will see the beginning of the resistance of African Americans acting on their own behalf to have the dignity and their rights fully endowed to them. That did not end it by any means. The Civil War did not end the need to fight for their rights. So the civil rights movement in the 1960s was another step in that direction, and this book details that. It's by John Lewis, who was a part of that civil rights activism. With vivid detail only a graphic novel could create, March brings a first-hand account of the civil rights movement and the life of U.S. Congressman John Lewis to the page. Book 1 in a 3-part autobiographical series covers Lewis's early life on a sharecropper's farm in Alabama, his life-changing meeting with Martin Luther King Jr., and the beginning of the Nashville student movement and their struggles to fight segregation with non-violent lunch counter sit-ins. So if you love book 1, you'll probably want book 2 as well. Look, here's the bus page. Isn't that great? Graphic novels are amazing. Look at these pictures. There you go. Somebody asked what the January Arrow was. It was Sadako and the 1,000 Paper Cranes. The adult, those of you who are adults and don't have kids at this age, we know a bunch of families last year, moms who formed Boomerang book clubs for their adult friends, and they read the books in anticipation of when they had older children. Feel free. Rich education here for you. Okay, we're getting there. We're doing great, you guys. We are all the way to March. Are you ready for March? All right, March for the Arrow. Oh my gosh. This book is so fun. We'll come from this side this time. Ready? Harriet the Spy by Louise Fitzhugh. I never know how to say her name. Harriet the Spy, total classic. I grew up with it. How can we not love this book? Harriet the Spy reveals the world, through the eyes of 11-year-old Harriet, a spy. As all good spies do, she writes down everything she observes in her notebook, even brutally honest and awful thoughts about her classmates. When the notebook goes missing, Harriet finds herself in a fix. Will the rambunctious Harriet smooth out the mess and regain the trust of her friends? Such a delightful book. Looking forward to you sharing it with your kids. And there's, a series. She's amazing. For March, for the Boomerang, we are excited to introduce to you a New York Times bestseller, a fairly new book. It is, are you ready? It's also a Newbery Honor book, so we know it's amazing. You ready? Wolf Hollow by Lauren Wolk. There is a book by the same title that is written by Nikki Jefford. That is not the book. This one, Wolf Hollow by Lauren Wolk. Gorgeous cover, right? Newbery Honor winner. In Wolf Hollow, a heartwarming and heartbreaking coming-of-age story, Annabelle finds the courage to stand up to the new girl in town and learns you cannot help everyone, no matter how much you care. Set in rural Pennsylvania during World War II, this is a tale of resilience, strength, and compassion in the face of injustice. This book is perfect for the Boomerang. Do not be put off if you notice younger ages. The themes, younger ages on the Amazon page, the themes are profound, and there are things to grapple with. I recommend as a parent that you thumb through it, that you read the climax and make sure you're comfortable for your children with reading it. Phenomenal book. Wolf Hollow. Fabulous. We are up to April. And this book, I well remember reading to my children when I was homeschooling. We tried to bring back some of the classics that I especially love. The whole team helps us build these lists. I don't want you to think it's just me. I haven't even read all the books, although this time I think I have. I think I have. The only one I haven't read yet, I think, is the Penderwigs. But the team contributes. This is not a one-person book list, but I love and endorse all of them. So this one I particularly remember because it was just such a rollicking tale. Are you ready? By the Great Horn Spoon by Sid Fleischman, who is a Newbery Award-winning author. This book is really popular. You'll see it on other homeschool lists. And I just knew we needed to update our old Arrow because I was afraid generations of kids are missing it. And this is a fantastic book. By the Great Horn Spoon brings you the adventures of Jack, a 12-year-old Bostonian, and his English butler, Praiseworthy, as they set forth to strike it rich in the California gold rush. These two unlikely gold miners need to hit pay dirt to save the family estate. Along the way, they meet a cast of colorful characters and find themselves in plenty of predicaments. Your kids might send up a big cheer at the end of this historical adventure. And you know, I lived in California at the time, so we studied the gold rush. So if you are, doing California history this year, perfect title for you, okay? By the Great Horn Spoon. And now, we are also doing another classic for the Boomerang in April. Fahrenheit 451 by the amazing Ray Bradbury. A modern classic, Fahrenheit 451 explores a futuristic world where television rules and books burn. I think we might already be here. Guy Montag is a fireman who starts fires, his job, to burn books and the buildings in which they are found. Through a series of events, Montag becomes disillusioned with the anti-intellectual society in which he lives and begins to question all he knows to be true. So classic title on every book list for high school. We're excited to share this with you. All right, we've made it to the very last books. I am going to go back through and review them all. So I want you to not worry if you missed the beginning because I will tell you all the books in order again, okay? But our very last title for the year will be an update to the Arrow book for Harry Potter. How could we not have a Harry Potter book club party school guide? I said to Mary, we must remedy this. There has to be a party for Harry Potter. There may be those of you who are not Harry Potter fans. We put this book in May so that you could do all 9 books and skip this one if it's not for your family. That said, we know tons of families love Harry Potter, and it will be super fun for them to have a guide that ends the school year on a bang. A book they've already read, they know the story, now they're doing copy work of, Hogwarts, all of the different houses and Harry and Hermione, okay? So Harry Potter, do I even need to read about it? I will. It's by J.K. Rowling, of course. The first book in the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, follows Harry from his mundane life with the Muggle family, who force him to live in a closet under the stairs, to the magical halls of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. At Hogwarts, he begins to learn his true power as a wizard and uncover the truth about his past and his destiny. What an amazing Arrow list. We will review the whole thing in just a moment, but we have one title left for May, and this is For the Boomerang. Are you ready? Truly one of the best collections of stories I've ever read. The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. The House on Mango Street is a series of poetic vignettes about the life of Esperanza Cordero, a young Latina girl living in Chicago. The oldest child of a family that moves from one apartment to the next, Esperanza must find her voice as she navigates a world filled with joy and heartbreak. Each of these short stories can be read as a single essay, or they can be all read together. We put it in May because by then you're on cruise control, and we want to make the year easy for you. It's also a nice bookend to the 4 short stories you do in August. So August and May, include short stories, which was one of the requests we had this year for the Boomerang level. So let's review, shall we? Are you ready? I'm so excited to share with you all these books. I think this list is incredible. Of course, now I have them all in reverse order. Whoops. Okay, now I have them all in reverse order, so let me see how we do. Okay, ready? So we're going to go through rapid fire all the Arrow books. Are you ready? Here we go. And just so you know, by the end of this broadcast, there will be a photo published on the store page. I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. And the blog, today's blog post, has everything you need to know on it. How to enter to win the books. Oh yeah, let's say that first. If you want to enter to win all the books for your family, either the Arrow books or the Boomerang books, go to bravewriter.com/winbooks. bravewriter.com/winbooks. And you can enter to win, and we will do the drawing on June 30th at the end of the month. Also, the Arrow and Boomerang programs are on sale for all of June, and those prices will be the lowest of the year. They're $89. They're the same price now. $89 for all 10 issues, or it'll be $99 starting in July. Okay? Ready? So here we go. Arrow books from August through May. August is The Penderwicks at Last. September is Redwall by Brian Jakes. October is Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers. November is The Journey to Joburg by Beverly Nadeau. December is Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. January is Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes. February is Freedom Train, The Story of Harriet Tubman by Dorothy Sterling. March is Harriet the Spy by Louise Fitzhugh. April is By the Great Horn Spoon by Sid Fleischman. And we round it out in May with Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, if you enter to win these books, you can get additional entries by sharing the contest on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Up Viral, our contest engine, shows you how to do that very easily. So increase your chances to win by sharing. All right, so those are the Arrow books. Are we ready now for the Boomerang books? I believe we are. August for the Boomerang starts with a bang. We have 4 short stories that you will download and print like this. This is Lady and the Tiger, which is the first one by Frank R. Stockton. The second short story of August for the Boomerang is The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. The third is The Diamond Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. And the fourth is my favorite, An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge by Ambrose Bierce. So that's August. September, Cry, the Beloved Country by Alan Paton. October, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. November, The Scarlet Pimpernel, Imuska Orksey. December, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. January, Jane Austen's classic Sense and Sensibility. February, March by the amazing John Lewis. March in the Boomerang is Wolf Hollow by Lauren Wolk. April, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. And finally, in May for the Boomerang, The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. There are sample issues of the Arrow and the Boomerang that you can download for free if you go to our website. Go to store.bravewriter.com, click on Arrow single issues or Boomerang single issues to download free samples. That will not include the Arrow or Boomerang guidelines, but it will give you a sense of what to expect. Now, here's the thing. The sample issues are not in our newest format. Our newest format is spectacularly beautiful, and you can see that by looking at titles from last year. So we want you to know our newest format includes questions to ask your kids, party school ideas, and a whole new design. If you purchase a bundle, the content will be released on the 1st of each month. So the boomerang for this book won't be released until May 1st, 2019. Okay? We release them once a month. Why do we do it that way? Well, one, it helps us write really good copy. We have a nice publishing schedule that works for us. But guess what the real reason is? When I homeschooled, I thought it was really hard to be confronted with a whole year's worth of material all at once. It discouraged me. What I discovered is if we focused on one book per month and we only give you the material once a month, you can pace yourself, not get overwhelmed, and have something new to look forward to, not see it all up front and get all discouraged because it's more than you can possibly do at once. And then remember that we release everything once a month to help you feel good about your homeschool, okay? So look at this. Here are all the Boomerang books. I mean, look at that stack. They're classics. They're amazing. Take a screenshot. Share. Take a screenshot and share this with your friends. Let's get the word out. The reading this year is so amazing. So this is the Boomerang set. And now let me do it with the Arrow set. Look how amazing this is. Amazing. Aren't you excited? We have so many good books. And you can join the Facebook group if you purchase the year-long program and then have a journey in community, not all by yourself. The August one starts, whoa, they're falling. The August one starts on August 1st. So you can be reading the Penderwicks to catch up. We do have a Penderwicks Arrow for the very first book in the series available on sale right now so that you can actually start that journey and test it out now if you want to. You can always purchase past guides. The ages for the Arrow are 3rd to 6th grade, and the ages for the Boomerang are 8th to 10th grade. And if you have someone who falls through that donut hole, look at our program for the Pouch of Boomerangs. The last thing I want to tell you is we do have an online class we call the Arrow Book Club and another one called the Boomerang Book Club. If you want your kids to discuss the books, you can sign up for those starting, I think it's July 23rd when we open fall class registration. And if your child is in a book club, we provide the Arrow or Boomerang guide for part of the tuition. You don't need to buy it extra. So keep that in mind. We will put out a sample of the party guide to view. That is a fantastic idea. I can't believe we didn't think of it. One thing that I know, though, is that those party guides are insanely good. So let me look into that with my community. Thank you for that wonderful suggestion. I love that. The way the online book club works is this. Each month, we create a space in our online classroom where a guide, a teacher, a Brave Writer instructor facilitates conversation. We post the questions from the Arrow or the Boomerang in the classroom. Students respond to those, and then there is conversation facilitated by the instructor. It is not about writing essays. It's about using your fingers to type your thoughts, learning how to hook up the brain with the hand so that you can start to experience what it's like to put your thinking into writing without any criticism. And that's what it is. It's not a place for partying. We don't have a lot of activities. What we have is the opportunity to process your thinking in writing about these books using those guides. I hope that's helpful. Okay, the list is already posted. You can go to store.bravewriter.com, click on Language Arts, and you will see the Arrow and the Boomerang, and there is a photo, there's a book list. We've included Amazon affiliate links. If you want to buy the books through us, click on those links and it will take you there. But those books are already posted. They are also posted on the blog.bravewriter.com, and I will, of course, be sharing them on Instagram now that we have them. Oh, yes, and then for the last bit, here's my shirt. It's a hashtag shirt to celebrate all of our amazing hashtags, and we do sell these in the store. Go to Brave Writer Lifestyle Tools, and you will see a link if you want it in black or white or in a running shirt. I got one that's even for running. It's amazing. Last thing I'm going to say before I hang up. If you don't know this, please get the word out, and I'm telling you now, we do a free online summer camp in July, July 24th and 25th, all day long, free webinars teaching you about writing and dyslexia and our online class program and how to join the Alliance and what it actually is. It's like a big bonanza. And then we provide you with a guide so that you can do campy home things with your children during those days, okay? It's all free. I want you to know about it. We'll be sending you more details soon. We'll be giving away free t-shirts and everything else. Is the t-shirt true to size? It totally is. I am sure of it is. Yes. I mean, we bought whatever size I am and it fits me fine. So yes. Yay. So yes, summer camp is totally free. It's the most fun thing ever. I cannot wait to have you all. We had thousands of people. Oh, and when you enter, you will be able to win potentially an iPad. We're giving away an iPad this year to a lucky family. And then all kinds of prizes while it's going on. T-shirts and books and pens and just, it's like a massive Brave Writer party for 2 days. And then we post all these amazing photos online. You will not believe how much fun we're going to have. I promise you. It's just a party. All right. Love you all. Thank you for tuning in live. What a joy that was for me. It makes it so worthwhile to our team to put in all this hard work when you show up and you celebrate with us. So have a fabulous day. Hug your children. Goodbye, kids. Have a great summer. Go play. Make a big mess. Be creative. Read lots of books. Swim in the pool. That's what you should do. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's take one more swig of my now cold tea in my Brave Writer mug. One of the things we'll be giving away, by the way. Because you can't buy the mugs. You only get them if you come see me or come to my camps. All right. Bye, everybody.